Welcome back to B&B Studios, where Berner and Barthy will talk all things happening in the Central Coast Rugby competition. Good chat, good footy, good fun. Take it away, boys.
Well, thank you, Tomo, and welcome back, everyone, for the last episode of the B&B Unplugging Central Coast Rugby podcast for 2023.
Well, mate, it's been a long slog. It's been a long journey. We've just ticked over. This is our 103rd episode.
This is 102.
100 and something episodes.
102, mate. 102.
Over. Yeah, we kick over 25,000 downloads and listens.
Yeah, we will.
We will do that this week. So, mate, what a year it's been.
Been a massive year, mate. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. So this will be the last one. It'll be a big one. We've got a lot to chat about. There's some people that we've teed up to jump on. We're just sort of waiting to hear back, as every episode is.
Yep.
Everything's off the cuff. We'll see who picks up. We'll see who we can go through, who we can get through to. But we've got a massive one because, mate, this weekend
grand final.
It's grand final week.
We've been working hard all year for this.
We have, mate. We have.
All the pre-season training is starting to pay off.
Exactly right.
Here we go.
And yeah, so obviously the same thing. Talk about the results. We'll talk about a preview for this week's episode. We're going to get, I'll tell you, we're definitely getting on.
Yep.
We're definitely getting on Priya Lama from the
Absolutely.
Sharks.
Yep.
We're definitely getting on Rob Peden from the Razorbacks.
Absolutely.
And we're definitely getting on Dave Hall, who's refereeing Premier One.
Mate, what a story. We'll cover off that. That's a fantastic story. Old Dave.
Anybody else is just if they reply to us at the time of doing this potty.
And for those of you who want to grind your club acts, let's just say every club involved has been contacted or a player has. So
yes,
check your social medias.
Yeah. Yes, exactly right. All right, mate, let's get into the results of the round.
Thanks. At Erina Podiatry.
I think it cut out, mate. But anyway, thanks to Gus and the team at Erina Podiatry. For the last time, Gus.
We should get Gus on too. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll just randomly give Carl from Exquisite Exterior Cleaning a call.
I think you'll appreciate that.
Yeah, we'll get his tips too for who he thinks is going to win.
Would you like that now?
Yeah, let's do it now.
Let's do it right now.
As you're calling it, let's go off. We'll cut this segment short, thanks to Gus and the team at Erina Podiatry. We won't do the results of the round. We will.
You'll hear that is the Instagram dial tone calling Carl,
and this will be a exclusive call. I don't think he's going to answer, so this is going well.
Hello,
Carl from Exquisite Exterior Cleaning. Welcome to the podcast, mate. Appreciate you jumping on at such late notice.
Holy crap, boys! This is throwing me right under the bus.
You good for a chat, mate?
Yeah.
You got a couple of minutes?
You're not on a
I was just watching Fiji Flog Australia. So that was good.
I was going to say you're not on a roof, eh?
Mate, we just want to give you a call, and first of all, thank you for all the support that you've given us this year. It's obviously been amazing, allowed us to do a lot of stuff and continue the podcast as Barthy travels around Australia. So we genuinely want to thank you for that, mate. And second thing is we want to get your tips for this weekend is what we're really here about.
So actually, you know what? So we retract that. Thank you.
All right, mate. Keep talking like that. I'll provoke that mini bar.
All right. We'll start down to President's Cup. We've only got 4 games on the weekend. So, mate, who's your tip in President's Cup over Razorbacks and Terrigal?
Yeah, look, geez. I mean, that's oh God. I mean, they're all pretty much flips of the coin, aren't they, boys? I mean,
yeah, they are.
Those two teams have got a shitload of experience, man. So, you know, like I really couldn't pick it. Just sort of looking at the forecast, apparently there's meant to be a little bit of rain on Saturday, so I sort of feel like if it's a bit of a slippery track, you know, and a bit of a tighter game, I feel like that'd suit the Razorbacks. Pretty much across the board for that one, obviously. Good forwards, so I feel like that tighter sort of arm wrestle would suit them. But look, if it's a quick dry track, I mean, it could be anybody's game, mate. Really, I honestly couldn't give you a pick.
That's a good grand final.
Yeah, good. Well done to sit on the fence. Probably, but
the fence is clean.
A very clean fence. So let's move on to Premier 2. The Trojans take on the Razorbacks.
Mate, he's going to sit on a clean fence again.
Yeah, you want the fence, or are you getting off to give us a tip?
Look, 2's. I'll probably be leaning towards the Razorbacks for that one.
Yep.
Yep.
Just slightly. I mean, they got I can't remember his name. I think he plays 13 for a couple in the Fijian unit. Just holy crap!
Yeah,
he cut us apart in first grade a few weeks ago, and he's devastating, mate. So you got somebody like that in your back line, it's just absolute game changer.
There we go. The women's, the Avoca Beach Sharks take on the Terrigal Trojans. How do you see this one going?
Look, I'll probably take Avoca on that one. I mean, those girls are just humming. They're outstanding team. I mean, they're both quality outfits, but as you're pretty well aware, I just feel like Avoca's got Terrigal's number there. So,
and on to the big dance, mate. 7:15 Razorbacks play Avoca. Who have you got in that one?
Look, mate, I don't know. The head sort of leans towards Avoca. I mean, they've been outstanding this year, but man, watching that final a couple of weeks ago, you just Razorbacks are, mate. Again, like pretty much the same as third grade, mate. Like it's a little bit wet. I tie the game. I feel like the Razorbacks would probably get through a little bit more there, but if that's the vote, you can let Horsley run and bring her on the winning and stuff. So look at same kind of thing, mate. I think it's going to be a little bit different for all the teams, though. First night game all year under lights.
Yeah, it is.
A little bit later and all that kind of stuff. So you don't really know how that's going to factor into the game as well.
Yeah. We think that would advantage the Razorbacks, wouldn't it? Black jerseys, they'd be harder to see.
I don't know, mate. Hasn't done the All Blacks any favours recently. So.
That's very true.
That's true.
Well, thank you very much for jumping on, mate. And as just going back on that first point, thank you so much and genuinely for sponsoring us this year and allowing us to do what we do. And listeners, if you need anything in your exterior cleaned at all, please use Carl. Exquisite Exterior Cleaning. We'll link his stuff as well in everything that we post here on out as well. So just please use him. Drop our name. He might give you a discount. He might charge you more depending on how well the season's gone for us. So, but no, thank you very much, Carl, for jumping on, mate, especially at late notice.
Yeah, no worries, boys. Thanks for having me on for my opinion. Jesus, I didn't think that was worth anything.
Mate, I just want to echo Bernard's thoughts, mate. We genuinely, absolutely appreciate your support. It allows us to give back to the community we love, and obviously the community that you do as well in playing. So, mate, really appreciate it. Thanks very much, and thanks for a great season this year.
Yeah, no worries, boys, and thanks for just giving the coverage to the coast and the game, man. Like it's, as you say, it's great community, great feel, and like even I'm gutted not to be playing finals, but it's still awesome just to head down there and catch up with all the boys from the other teams and have a yarn, and it's just it's a great place to play footy, mate. So I'm just glad I can be a part of it.
Good stuff, mate.
Awesome, thanks, mate. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Thanks, boys.
Well, there we go. Exclusively sat on the fence.
What a good man. And that's the kind of service, that quick pickup that he did, and just happy to jump on at any task. That's what you can get.
And this is how good the service is from Exquisite Exterior Cleaning. He wasn't just going to clean the Avoca side of the fence. He's going to clean both sides. And the best way to see which side of the fence is dirtiest is by sitting on it.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what he did for a couple of games.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. So we can expect from Carl. What segment are we up to?
I got no idea.
I think we were talking about the results around thanks to Gus and the team
and Erina Podiatry.
There we go.
Now, if Gus wasn't working right now, actually, I might send him a text to see. Actually, I'll just randomly ring him. He won't answer though. He'll be fixing people's feet. Don't forget, people, if you have problems with your feet, your knees, your arches, your shins, your hammies, your hips, go down to see Gus and the team at Erina Podiatry and Coastal, or he's got some weird name. Coastal Cobblers is what it should be called, but it's not. Anyway, whatever it is.
It's a big word for you, mate.
It is.
Very early on.
Anyway, let's get into the results of the round.
Let's get into the results of the round. So Terrigal defeated Gosford 24 points to 23 to book a spot in the grand final this weekend. So Razorbacks Terrigal in the President's Cup grand final. On the weekend, we had the Razorbacks getting the win over Avoca 30 points to 20. And that will see them take on Terrigal in the grand final. So Razorbacks Terrigal for both President's Cup and Premier 2 back-to-back. Now, on to the women's. The game on the weekend, Barthy, an absolute clean-up. Terrigal winning 53 points to 12. How'd you see this?
Mate, I saw this. I saw this as, unfortunately for the Lakes, halftime was the worst thing that could happen to them. I think the score was 13-12, maybe.
I think it was, yes. I think it was 15-12 or something like that.
Yeah, it was very close. It was very, very close at halftime. And the Lakes women were playing really good rugby. They were going great guns. I forgot to do my homework.
Do you want some stats? They're never accurate. So
I looked up her name.
The number one.
Yeah, she was just phenomenal. As Walsh, I can't think of her name now. Unfortunately, she was just dynamic for the Lakes women. Just going to Paige Welsh. She was absolutely dynamic in the first half, head and shoulders. I thought she was the best player on the paddock, and just ripping in for the Lakes. I also thought that. I'm just scrolling because none of them played in the numbers they were supposed to play in, according to the printed guide. So I can't think of the young lady who was in the 9 jersey. It'll be on the app, but she for the Lakes, they were outstanding. And
Kirsty Lawson,
yes, she had a cracker as well. I was really impressed with those two women in particular for the Lakes in the first half. But I don't know what happened to them. When they came out, and the Terrigal side just motored away, and I think the scoreline flatters Terrigal a lot. I know they scored 30-odd points in the second half, which is disappointing for the Lakes because they were genuine competitors in that first half. But there was a little bit of a difference. When it came to sort of skill and speed and execution, Matty Robson had a field day for the Terrigal Trojans in that second half, and really got in behind the line and gave some good ball, and the quicker ladies got to found some space. But I tell you what, the Terrigal Trojan women, they were bloody lucky because their discipline was freaking horrible. It was absolutely shocking.
A couple lazy eye tackles as well. Led to a yellow.
I will be gobsmacked if they play the same way in a grand final. I don't think the young referee will be getting the grand final, and that's just not. I'm not throwing shade. I just think they will go with more experience at a grand final. They
have. Kate.
Okay. Yeah, Kate's got it. Good.
Kate's got it.
I can tell you right now. There was a yellow that should have been a red, and the Terrigal Trojan women discipline was poor, and in a grand final, and Avoca have shown their hand early, they're going to take points when they're on offer, and before you know it, you could be 9, 12 points behind. So Terrigal are really going to need to pull their socks up when it comes to their discipline. We know defensively they're strong. We know in skill set they're outstanding, but and that they got away and they ran away with a big victory in the end. Was it 53 points to 12?
Yeah.
So it was a good performance by the Terrigal Trades in the second half in particular, but it will need to improve. They were my thoughts.
Yeah,
I know it's probably a bit harsh on Terrigal, but I also think probably a little bit justifiably because they are a bloody good rugby side that aren't really playing, and that's
to their potential.
Yeah, but that's
I think they're only rubbish. I personally think they're only probably rubbish for the last 10 minutes of the first half. They were one down.
Lakes were fantastic, don't
they? Were, yes. But that, and I think that's what counted. You're right, mate.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
The sign was about to fall down,
nearly knocking things over.
I thought, Lakes kicked into gear. Like at the very start, it was Terrigal would just had the ascendancy. I just felt like this could be a bit of an ugly day for Lakes here, and even Lakes' body language. And then it just, once that card happened, it sort of flipped a little bit, and you saw the Lakes start to, to understand how to play against them. Whereas they look like almost a different team, and they sort of look like that team in the second half as well.
Yeah.
And Terrigal just capitalized. I think what you're saying is justified, and that scoreline probably does flatter Terrigal a bit.
Yeah.
But they're good enough to also get those points and score those points in a precious stakes situation. They're still racking up 50 in a game of 10. So I think that's hats off to Terrigal, and Lakes have been a really good team all year.
Absolutely. And like I said, I don't want to sound too harsh on Terrigal because they had a very good victory. But we always expect a lot more from them, and I think they expect a lot more from themselves.
Yeah. So,
but a good win by the Trojans. Like I said, 40-odd points difference, 30-odd points difference. They would have got a lot of sort of encouragement out of that second half and toughing out that first half. So in regards to moving forward up into the grand final, which we'll cover off a bit later on, I think the second half served them well.
Yep. All right, so Terrigal will meet Avoca in the grand final this weekend at 6:10.
Also want to give a bit of a shout out to Vic Scott playing for the Terrigal Trojans. I think more of the Terrigal Trojan forwards need to follow Vic's passage, and that's straight and taking the ball straight and trying to set a platform that allows Matty Robson to get in behind. And they did a little bit more of that on Saturday, which was good to see. But I thought Vic Scott was outstanding in regards to that. Just that no-nonsense footy that a lot of people don't really see, that allows it really does allow that platform to be laid. To allow your Sean Georges, your Matty Robbo, and all those guys who do all the flashy scoring stuff. And we've seen it time and time again from Terrigal. They can't do it unless the platform's laid.
Yeah.
And I think there needs to be more ladies following Vic Scott's passage.
And it's going to be a battle up front this weekend with,
big time.
With Hannah Stewart there as well.
Big time.
On to Premier 1, mate. Avoca get the win over Trojans, 39 points to 19. How'd you see this?
I saw it as an absolute domination by the Avoca Beach Sharks. That 19 points flatters the Terrigal Trojans. They scored, I think, 2 of those tries in the last 10 minutes.
And the Brent Merritt try, which was phenomenal, that was just all him.
Yeah,
he had no right to score that try. That was awesome. That for their first try there. But again, same thing, as that was an individual effort, because I don't know anybody else who scores that, to be honest. He just carried three plays over with him. Yeah,
it was the Avoca Beach side that we expect.
Yeah,
and the Avoca Beach side that we've seen. I thought the Terrigal Trojan side was poor. I saw more passes go to ground than I had. I saw more passes go to ground in that game than I think I have in the last 3 or 4 years from that Terrigal side.
Yeah.
They were out enthused in all facets of the game. Defensively, the Avoca Beach defensive line speed was superior. They were more clinical. They were more disciplined, and you know what? They were more balanced in the brain space. The Avoca Beach side, which is the complete opposite to what they've been in the last few years. And I think it's that balance of brain space and that calmness really allowed them to dominate the game. And I thought it was a complete domination by them. And to give you an idea of how dominant it was, and I'm going to touch on a little bit later on, but I was obviously watching on the Terrigal side of the crowd, and
surprising.
And mate, there was no, certainly in my area, there was no complaining or whinging. They just, the crowd, and certainly the old guys that I respect, their knowledge of the game, there was nothing to sook about. They were just getting outplayed. And you know, sometimes when you just get outplayed, you can't feel bad about it because you're just not good enough.
Yeah, that's it. And you just accept it. You're like, there's nothing, there's no poor decision or anything. There's no, well, this could have gone this way. It's like, well, no, they're just the better team on the day.
Yes.
And it's easier to accept that as well. Like, we just weren't good enough. It's not that we're playing shocking right now. They're just better. Like, they made plenty of errors.
Terrigal did not play well. But that's because they were dominated by the opposition.
Yeah.
And it was the Avoca Beach's domination and pressure that produced those errors. And that's where, you know, again, I'll just repeat myself, all the players, ex-players, and people I respect their knowledge of the game all said the same thing. Terrigal just were not good enough. And that's okay sometimes. You're just not. And it's just a big congratulations to the Avoca Beach side. What a performance to put on leading into a grand final. So I thought several players for the Avoca Beach side was fantastic. I thought Matt Anderson's leadership in this period of time has been phenomenal. Ando's sort of floats around a little bit in the second row, back row, goes well in wherever he goes.
Well.
Yeah, it does, and just really leads that team around well. And also too, well, there's no point looking at I have to look at the app, because I brought the what do you call it? The printed program was nothing like the actual team. Bloody hell, his name's we've drawn. The number 6 for Avoca I thought was fantastic. I thought he had an absolute cracking match. Matthew Hurd, I thought he was brilliant. Name withheld. Thanks very much on the
Well, if you can take
on the app.
your settings off private, mate, it'd be awesome. We could read your name out straight away.
I thought he was strong. I thought it was probably one of the better performances I've seen from him.
I was a little worried when I heard Tom Murphy was out.
Yes, me too.
But you get Fionn Henderson Foley in
there.
So you don't. It's not too much of a loss.
It's a different.
It is a different player.
You pick up a different style of player, and that's where I think you saw Rando step up a little bit more in that tighter sort of gear. I thought, I just got massive raps on him. I think he's an outstanding footballer. And as strange as this may sound, I actually think he's a far better forward than he was as an outside centre.
Yeah.
And he was a good outside centre. So, I thought, mate, sometimes you just got to applaud dominance and superior rugby. And that's exactly what the Avoca Beach side showed on for 80 minutes on Saturday.
Yeah, it was a good win by Avoca. Just on Matt Anderson, mate.
Mm-hmm.
I always played him as a 13.
Yeah.
Last few years, he sort of moved to 8.
Yep.
This year, he's accepted his fate in the second row. They
say once you start moving in, you never get out.
You're not going backwards, mate. You're staying in there. I also actually, just on these games, I just want to talk about the commentary because I actually took the liberty to stay home and enjoy the commentary this week. And I do want to give a huge shout out. So Hannah Stewart and Ethan McInnes commentated the women's game, and it was phenomenal. Like the listening experience, to listen to those two people with the knowledge that they have in the game. And I don't know if they're the people that are doing it this weekend. Obviously, Hannah's not going to be, but, it might be Ethan that's there. The knowledge they have about the players, like that is missing in a commentary thing. And obviously that's what we've said, we bring to it, but having those two people that can do it and can articulate, they know the game of rugby. And Ethan, obviously, well-versed in, he did the men's as well, and just his knowledge of the Terrigal team and the Avoca team. Hannah wasn't with him for that, but his knowledge of when Avoca were well in front, and then the other commentator asked him, like, how did Terrigal get out of this one? He's like, I just don't think they do, because it's not their style. Their style is to build pressure. Their style is to not throw Hail Marys and get themselves out of this. They probably can't. And this is a sort of 5 to go, and this is his team, right? This is, but he just knows it so well. And every player on that field, and just his comments were like, oh, that's probably not the player you want it to go to. Just those things, like, and that makes the viewing experience so much better than having people that are like, well, Avoca have the ball now. Terrigal with a good clean out. He's talking about the players on there. And that was just awesome to listen to and have those two. And just two brilliant rugby minds, and you don't hear them in that aspect. So having him on commentary, that did a phenomenal job. So if I was CCRU, I'd be doing whatever I can to injure Ethan McInnes again and lock him up long term in that commentary role, because he's phenomenal in that, as is Hannah Stewart. But obviously you want to see him out in the park as well, because it's nice. That's the results of the round, mate, for the last time this year, thanks to Gus and the team at Erina Podiatry.
Well, there you go, mate. It was
That's right.
We're just discussing what we could have and shouldn't have done. Can I just before we get onto the previews, I just need to cover off on the crowd behaviour on Saturday.
Yep.
Unfortunate incident, and I'm not going to name any club. I'm just going to this is for the people that were there and for the people who witnessed and experienced everything that was going on. Obviously, there's an unsavoury incident in the crowd where, a player went up into the crowd from the bench, reacting to whatever was getting said at the time. Wouldn't have a clue what that was. I was too far away. But there was a lot of rubbish getting spoken from both sides. I'm going to say this, okay? And I just want to point out a couple of things. Obviously, someone was ejected, and rightly so, from the crowd, and security did a good job, and that person, was kicked out, which is good. But just want to give this a broad comment to everyone. When you're in your club colours, and you are representing your club, and this goes for both clubs, because there were peanuts on both sides saying stupid crap, and both ones that I'm particularly visioning were wearing their club colours and their club shirts. You need to be better at representing your club, because you brought absolute shame and disgrace onto your clubs with your behaviour and your verbal diarrhea that no one wants to listen to. And there were too many people that brought shame on their clubs, I thought, on the weekend. And it just disgusted me, because they're two very good clubs, very proud clubs, and clubs that are better, should be better. And there are individuals within both clubs wearing the club colours that need their heads pulled into line, and it needs to be done by the people who are sitting around them. And I didn't see that happen on the weekend. And I'm not laying blame on anyone. I'm laying blame on everyone and both clubs, because both clubs were to blame, and it was poor. And it was the type of shit we see on the news that escalates.
On the positive side, I did see Todd Aikens break something up. Love you, Toddy.
But yeah, Toddy
shouldn't have got to that point.
No.
Toddy was also playing, probably with a blister as well. Let's not forget that.
Sorry to get serious, but that shit can't go
100%.
It cannot go unsaid.
Yeah.
Because it was disgraceful.
It is, and it has to be brought up, because we've had some instances in the last couple of years that have been ugly.
Yep.
And we brought it up, and there's been change.
Yes,
you're talking about this
absolutely.
stuff and understanding it, and people listen to this and they go, "Okay, well, I probably can't shout that shit out."
Well, there's
no reason to.
It's about the person next to you, person next to him or her saying, "Mate, sit down. You're being a goose.
Shut up." All right, we'll get into the preview for this week, mate. So the game's obviously moved a little bit later than the normal start time. So we're playing at night for come the later games. So just looking at President's Cup, mate, that kicks off at. Not a glitch, mate, but just loading up Rugby Explorer just now. That kicks off at 2:30 p.m. at Industry Group Stadium. That'll be the Razorbacks and Terrigal. Barthy, who's winning that one?
Well, it's going to be interesting, actually, because the Razorbacks haven't won a grand final in Premier President's Cup since 2018, and the Terrigal Trojans haven't won for 10 years. 2013 was their last premiership.
Did you have the day off today? Because you've done some awesome research.
And let me tell you, the Razorbacks are averaging 23.8 points per match and conceding 13.8. So
you are sickening.
And the Terrigal Trojan side, they're averaging 30, a massive 30 points, and they're only conceding 11.2. So they're big statistics for a Premier 3 side.
They are big statistics for you, mate.
So statistically alone, the Terrigal Trojan side are better in attack and defence than their Razorback components.
Okay.
However, what I will say to you is the Premier 3 side for Terrigal have been well below par and gave away a penalty to lose the major semi at the death. Nearly threw it away again against whoever it was on the weekend.
Gosford Carroll.
They just snuck in that game. So, mate, it wouldn't surprise me if the Razorbacks win this, because whilst the Trojans are far better over the course of the season in attack and defence, they're certainly not playing like it at the moment. So it could just be a case of momentum continues on for the Razorbacks.
I'm going Razorbacks. Premier 2, the exact same game. Terrigal take on Razorbacks at 6:10 p.m. I'll give you my early tip. I'm going Terrigal.
Well, Terrigal last won the Premier 2 grand final in 2020, believe it or not.
I was going to put some charge in my phone because I've just seen it's going down, and you're going to take a long time with this. So viewers, you enjoy this next couple of minutes.
The Razorbacks 2015. Over the course of this season, the Premier 2 Terrigal side, how about this for a statistic? They average 56.2 points per match.
Actually?
Yes, they do. That is amazing. And how about this? They concede 6.9 points a match. So they have absolutely dominated this Premier 2 division. The Razorbacks, on the other hand, not too far away, they're averaging 40.4 points per match in attack and conceding just 13. So two outstanding teams. I believe it's first and third, maybe. I just might need to check that. But
I'll check it for you, mate.
On those statistics alone, well, I can tell you right now, it is first versus third. And on those statistics alone, I'm actually going to back the Terrigal Trojans for their superior attack and their superior defence. So Terrigal Trojans in Premier 2 for me.
And that is at 6:10 p.m. All right, now on to the women's game. We're going to get Priya on. We have some exciting news. Mitch Magrath has just seen the message.
And ignored it and moved on?
No, well, we're currently in negotiation, so that could happen in the next 10 minutes. Let's get Priya on now, though. So Avoca playing Terrigal. It also says at 6:10 p.m. on the app. So Rugby Explorer needs to sort itself out. I don't think Premier 2 is at 6:10. I reckon that could be a little bit earlier because you're not jamming those games in there. So ignore our time for Premier 2. find a much more reliable source if you would like to find the start time of that game. But the women starts at 6:10.
Just show up around lunchtime and stay there for a while.
Exactly. All right, let's give Priya a call.
Priya Lama, I tell you what, one thing that's happened for the Avoca Beach side since her return is they've just gone strength to strength.
Yeah.
Obviously sat a fair bit of the season out. I think she broke a hand or a wrist. I'm not too sure.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hey, Priya, how you going, mate? It's Barthy here.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Got Berner here and with us. And
Hey, Priya, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I've just been letting the listeners know that the Avoca Beach side sort of season kind of turned around with your return, and I couldn't remember, was it you break a finger or wrist or something? What'd you break? You did something?
Yeah, I broke my hand.
Your hand. Oh, there you go. Somewhere in the middle between the finger and the wrist. So I wasn't too far away.
Yeah.
You locked in the middle. So obviously, huge game this weekend, the biggest game of the season, grand final. You know, Avoca versus Terrigal. Talk us through it. Like, this is obviously a huge rivalry. It's gone on for many years. Terrigal have dominated the regular season, but you guys obviously seemed, over the last couple of years have just really had it over them when it comes to the big games. So how do you see it? How's the team shaping up? Obviously all 25 players or whatever you had on the bench.
Yeah, nearly 30, I reckon.
Yeah. So talk us through it. Where your thoughts are. What are you thinking for this weekend?
I mean, we're confident, but you never can be too confident going up against a team like Terrigal. Like, the game could really go either way. Like you said, they've been so dominant throughout the season. And sorry, I've got Mitch and Halsey in the car here with me, just laughing at me while I'm talking to you guys. So it's a bit of a distraction.
Well, keep going. It makes for a more entertaining interview.
Yeah, and now I've got Jake and Fuzz here as well. So that's even better.
Great.
Well, the best thing you can do is ignore any advice they give you, and keep playing. Well, actually, probably should retract that, because considering how well the club's been going at the moment, you're surrounded by success,
Greatness, yes.
which is outstanding. Now, I've just been doing a statistical review of how the Avoca Beach women's side have been going against Terrigal this year. This might surprise you, Priya.
Priya, just his stats have been punished the whole podcast.
I'm keen to hear these stats.
If you are in the car and you're not strapped in, just put your seatbelt on, because prepare yourself for this. So here we go. Over the course of this season, just Terrigal versus Avoca. Terrigal average. Terrigal have scored 67 points over the three matches they've played. Over the 4 matches they've played. Yeah. Avoca Beach have scored 68 points.
Oh, wow.
Over 4 matches. Now,
so close.
Terrigal have conceded 16.75 points over the course of the 2 matches on average. Yeah. And Avoca Beach, 17.
Wow.
Now, let me blow your mind. If I'm to remove the 50-7 thrashing that the Trojans gave the Sharks when they had half their team out, all the statistics are straight to Avoca. They've met 4 times. The Avoca Beach side have won on 3 out of those 4 occasions this year.
All right. Thanks,
You're still with us, Priya?
Yep, I'm still with you. I'm just taking it all in.
I haven't finished. Over the course of the 4 matches, the Terrigal Trojans side have scored 11 tries. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Avoca Beach squad, 10.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Close, Barthy. Close.
The Terrigal Trojan side have converted 6 of those 11.
Yeah.
And the Avoca Beach side, 7 of 10. But here's the kicker. The Avoca Beach side have taken 2 penalties over the course of the year.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Yeah.
That tells you absolutely nothing other than it's a close game.
I think one thing that we've improved on heaps this year is our kicks. Like, we can rely on that now. And it's been really good having Jada come in. And she's been our main kicker, because we never used to have that. So having that as a point of difference has been really good for us, I think.
Now, we tried to get Jada on the podcast before, and the veteran Renee, but I think Renee,
mother-daughter duo.
Yeah, brushing us. We want to know, does Jada go, Mum, pass me the ball? How do they talk? How do they communicate?
I love seeing them play off each other, because we've obviously got Renee in half and Jada at 10. Yes. And they just communicate really well. It's so good.
Is it Mum though? It's got to be Mum. Jada's got to yell out Mum.
No, it's Renee.
It's more formal.
It's formal. Yeah.
It's a formal process. Who's the danger players in your mind for Terrigal this weekend?
On the Terrigal side?
Yeah, on the Terrigal side, yeah.
I mean, their whole team is pretty dangerous. Like, obviously, Shanae, she's a key player that we always keep an eye on. You've obviously got Maddie, Sean, all the quick girls, because as soon as they got that ball out, we're always trying to watch the wings. I think that is definitely their strong point. But they do also have solid players up through the middle who are always carrying that ball strong. Like you've got Lufe and all those girls. So
Lufe?
They've got quite the stacked team.
Do you mean Lufe?
Yeah, we call her Lufe.
Wow.
No, well, she is an ex-Avoca player, so maybe you got a bit of an in with her.
Now,
she wants to be a Sharky. She was
look out.
Yes, this is what we need. This is our headline.
Now, it's certainly from two absolutely fangirling spectators in Burner and I. We love this contest. It's the secret to the Avoca Beach dominance has been shutting down that forward pack, as you've spoken about, and that really negates those quicker ladies the opportunity to get into some space. Yourself plays a vital role in that, and obviously Hannah's she was outstanding in the major semi-final, albeit working for the Bega Cheese Factory, getting a slice of cheese from the referee. Look, Priya, thanks for joining us on the podcast today.
No worries.
We want to wish you all the absolute best. You guys have been outstanding all season. Welcome back from injury. You've really led that side, and you do lead that side around really well. And
thank you.
All the very best for Saturday. Go well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
See you, Priya.
See ya.
All right. Priya Lama there.
Captain of the Avoca Beach side. Now, we have sent out messages to a few of the Terrigal girls that we haven't quite been able to get a hold of.
When we do this as well, I don't want to make Terrigal women look like bad people here saying they haven't written back. We give roughly a couple of hours notice before we record this. That's the way that it is. If lucky, sometimes if you're a sponsor, sometimes you get called on the spot and you're expected to answer. That's why we love doing it this way, because it is completely off the cuff, and that's what we love with who writes back to any of the replies. That's just our style that we like. So we don't want to say that Terrigal have cold shouldered us or anything.
That's exactly right. So,
and also we're aware of what people are doing. We do know people's schedules. We don't want to call them while they are busy. We know Carl, obviously.
Some people actually have jobs too. So that's just the way it goes. Emily Lufe from the Terrigal Trojan women's side. Bartha here, mate. How you going?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Thanks for taking the call without notice. We've just been.
Not cool. Not cool at all.
Berner here as well. We just spoke with Priya. She thought you'd be great to give a call to get your insights for the weekend. Yeah, and she also said you're a closet sharky as well. So she's lighting a fire. So we just thought we'd get your thoughts on it. But more importantly, obviously congratulations on a big win on the weekend, and we just want to get your thoughts as well on the weekend. How's everything shaping up? We know you're probably trying to get your head in the game if you've just been thrown onto a podcast with whatever you're doing in your general life right now. But
I'm actually on the way to the Central Coast Awards night. So
good. So you're in the headspace for it. What's your thoughts on the weekend? Obviously, the game just passed, and obviously moving into this week, Avoca have got the wins in recent times. So what's the changes? What's a feeling around the club? There's 10 questions there. You can answer one of them.
My goodness. Okay. So during the week, we really focused on just eliminating our errors, which we definitely did on the weekend. Everyone worked great as a team. Like we just clicked. I don't know what happened, but I don't know. It was like the best footy we played all year. Scored so many more tries than I expected, and it was just great. Like it was all not just individual tries; it was all team efforts, and it was just great to feel. It was great. That's all I got.
Yeah, no, mate,
then,
perfect. We had a very quick chat on Saturday watching it, and watching the Premier 2 game. Well, I mentioned the enormous rate of head-eye tackles. So you're planning on tackling sort of around the legs tackle practices. The coach flagged that for this week.
Yeah, yeah. I have no comment, but yeah. I think we're just too excited to get up off the line. But first of all, for the offside, and then the few head highs. Well, all the head highs were just mistakes. They weren't ill-intended. They were honest mistakes.
They were reactive, and that's obviously an area of discipline that the Trojans need to fix up. I touched on it before because we've seen that the Avoca Beach side there, they've got a penchant for taking penalty shot.
A penchant.
Yeah, for taking penalty shots. So
Okay.
they very well, it could be the difference. So obviously discipline will be important for the Terrigal Trojan ladies. Mate, just quick question for you. Who are you going to watch out for the Avoca Beach side? We asked the same of Priya. Who do you think is the key for the Avoca side to shut them down?
They're pretty good all around. One that's actually stood out to me, which is a new one, is I'm pretty sure her name's Jada, Renee's daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, she'll like that. But yeah, she's got that great kicking game, which they did in their try line, and they scored off it.
Yeah.
So she's a great kicker, especially when she's doing those penalty kicks too.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
Yeah, it's good shout out, that one.
But I think we've got everyone else pretty covered in our contact in the middle and our speed on the edges.
I think that might be the key this weekend. If you can shut down Avoca's middle, it might be the key for you guys to have a bit of success out wide. Thank you very much for jumping on at late notice. And good luck tonight.
Right.
And also good luck. Good luck on the weekend as well. It's an amazing spectacle to watch, and we cannot wait for another installment on the weekend. But good luck on Saturday.
Great. Thank you, boys.
Good on you, mate. See ya.
All right.
Well, there you go.
Emily Lufe.
What a champion.
One of the great people of Central Coast Rugby.
Sophie Dryden will probably now ring us and say, okay, I'm ready to talk now. So who's your tip?
My tip is Avoca.
Yep.
I just can't ignore previous outings against them. They've just been a more solid team all year. They've got all their players back. I know they had losses throughout the season, and so did Terrigal, but they've got all their players back now. And it's an unfortunate reality with they're so lucky with luck, recruitment, whatever. But they've got so many players on that sideline that they've got so much to choose from. But their starting 10 or whatever they put on the field is class. Like that is an elite side, whatever they're going to go with. And obviously they're going to rotate players in because they've got so many players, but there's so much skill right across the park from. I just think they've got everything in the middle. They've got everything out wide. It's them for me. I just don't know if Terrigal are going to get there. In saying that, it doesn't surprise me if they do, but Terrigal have been off the pace. Terrigal's best is different to Avoca's best this year. I haven't said that before. Usually it's just Avoca that can get the wool over him, but I believe that Avoca have been more dominant.
Yeah, mate, I kind of agree, to be honest. After my deep dive and statistical analysis, I think it's pretty clear to see there's nothing between them. It is.
We're talking about decimal points, Barthy.
Yeah, it is so ridiculously tight. It's not funny. And this is where it comes down to headspace. You take out that 50-7 flogging the Trojans gave the Sharks when they were dramatically under strength. The score lines, there is a 5-point victory to Avoca and a 22-point victory and a 17-0 victory to Avoca. So they're all strong victories.
Yeah.
Obviously that Terrigal side has been varied levels of strength when they've come up and met as well. But with that, mate, I'm going to have to go Avoca Beach in the big game. Obviously, I love how Terrigal can play, and they are probably one of the most exciting teams in the competition to watch play. And I think Avoca Beach just know how to shut that down, and I think they've proven they can do that. And I also think that the Avoca side might have a bit sort of calmer heads.
Yeah. And
so I think Avoca might win it, and I think it might be a tight one. I don't think there'll be too much in it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that segment break of dessert. Second of the episode.
The reason the break went in is because we're about to make a phone call.
We are.
Yeah, we're about to give David Hall, the referee, freshly appointed referee for the Premier One Grand Final. Berner's going to dial that up now.
Just before we get him on,
Yep.
I just want to make mention, obviously for players to get to a grand final is a big occasion, but for referees as well, this is a big occasion.
Yeah.
And we've had, Tony Fury has refereed for many, many years in grand finals at Crofty last year. And then for Dave to get the appointment, that's an incredibly proud moment as well for him.
Big time.
So we'll get him on and chat through it.
And it's no different. It's no different to striving to get into first grade yourself.
Yeah. Being a referee is bloody tough. I wouldn't.
Yeah, big time. Especially when everyone thinks they know the laws better than you.
Sorry, I can't get to the call, but I just leave a message. I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Hi, Dave. Bernie here from B&B. If you give me a call back at any time, mate, just doing the podcast live, giving you a massive wrap. We'll hang around for it, mate. Absolutely no rush. All right. So Dave, hopefully he'll give us a call back. Either that or he's got Barthy's number 1 or 2. What we're going to do, Barthy, is we're just going to get into our preview.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk. And then if Dave calls back, we'll get Dave back on. How's that?
Like all things, when referees speak, you listen.
Exactly.
So we'll stop what we're doing.
100%. Let's look at
the Premier One fixture. I'll do it, and I'll take it from here. Thanks, Berner. I've deep dived into some further statistical analysis.
What have you got? Is it close? Match. Is it as close as the women's?
I think it's going to be very close, mate.
All right.
I think it's going to be very close. Last time Razorbacks won the competition was 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
Does that mean? Oh, hold on, Barthy. Hold on, Barthy. Dave's calling. Shit, I've lost you. Hey, Dave, how are you, mate?
I'm all right, boys. How about yourselves?
Going well, mate. We left you a nice voicemail. We are live on the podcast, mate. There. Thank you very much for jumping on. We actually did give you a bit of notice. A lot of our other guests didn't get the same same something.
Courtesy,
that's the word I'm looking for. I was going to say compliments, but that's not it. Mate, obviously, first of all, congratulations. Your first appointment to Premier One Grand Final this weekend. Talk us through it, first of all.
Look, I'm very excited, very honoured. It's a great opportunity to be a part of the grade that we referee all year. It's a big game, and it should be a great opportunity and a great atmosphere on Saturday night.
Well, mate, I think it's also a big congratulations to yourself. As you say, you're one of the Premier One referees. It's been around for a very long time, and you've done a sterling job over those years. And like players, you come in and out of form as referees, and this year obviously been outstanding. And it's also a really, really good, I guess a congratulations on stoicness and really sort of continuing on. And I think you absolutely thoroughly deserved the appointment this Saturday. So a big congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You seem a bit nervous there, David. It's okay.
Well, you didn't quite finish the question, mate.
Yeah.
You sort of got halfway through the question.
Yeah, Dave, that's Barthy. We had a conversation with him. He loses his track. He's losing his train of thought.
Yeah,
I managed to keep a podcast going for so long. I've got no idea.
I thought I was getting an old bird. I still probably got a couple of years to go before I catch your senility. Is that right?
Piss off, David. I had no idea what I was saying. What was I saying?
You're giving him a compliment. You're rapping him. You're saying how good he's going.
Yeah. So, well done. Good job. But a couple of people you'd like to thank over that journey. It's it's obviously been a long time. Anyone in particular that you'd like to sort of give a shout out to? Because like I said, it's thoroughly deserved. And obviously being a referee can be quite difficult in regards to people's opinions, and everyone's got one, and it generally seems to be the opposite to whatever your interpretation was.
And nothing's positive.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Everyone's got an opinion, and it's never the same as those of us in the middle.
That's exactly right. It's exactly right.
So, no, look, it has been it's been a long journey. A lot of guys have input into me over the years. I started in Sydney, refereeing in Sydney before I ever moved to the coast. So I was, had referee coaches and guys down there, and moving to the coast, there's been referee coaches over the years, guys like Tony Rudd and Vic Whiteley who put a lot of time into coaching. Mal Hunt, Gary Scholes. We've got a big crew of coaches who've been around for a while.
over the last couple of years, I've really had a lot of guys input into trying to help me improve my refereeing on the field. Guys like John Arrowsmith and Tony Fury have put a lot of effort in and taken a lot of time out to do that. And also had the benefit of a little bit of support this year from former Test referee Stuart Dickinson, who moved to the Central Coast during the year. So it's been a lot of guys who've put in and just help mould and shape and refine what I've been doing over the years to try and improve me, I guess. I think there's a lot of guys out there. There's a lot of guys out there who are probably still sitting there going, "Still got a lot of way to go, Dave. If you want to improve as a referee."
Dave, I tried to improve you on the field a couple of times.
Well, look, I have had a lot of guys helping me on the field. Yeah, Tony, you were one of them. I certainly have had a few helpful halfbacks over the years. So
well, let me ask you this question then, Dave. When we're talking about advice and why do you hate the Razorbacks and why will Avoca Beach win?
Well, look, I'm incapable of hate. I'm not a hateful person. I don't hate anyone or any team.
Flip the question on him.
I was going to say, let me rephrase it then. Why do you hate Avoca Beach and why will the Razorbacks win?
Well, as I said, I'm not a person of hate. I'm a person of love. So we try not to view it that way. Certainly, although I'm sure there are some teams out there, whether it be this year or in the past, that certainly they have a feeling that perhaps I don't like them or other referees don't like them. So it's certainly get that feeling sometimes.
Well, there's one thing I can absolutely guarantee you, David, and the listeners. I had the pleasure. I never played under Dave. My playing days were over, but I had the pleasure of coaching when David was refereeing. And mate, from a personal perspective, albeit a fair while ago now, you were always personable. You were always open and responsive to chats. And I found you nothing. Excuse me. I found you nothing but absolute professional when it comes to the game. And I think this appointment for you is absolutely well overdue. And so I can say from first-hand account as a coach, I thought this is very much well over. Yeah, long overdue and well deserved. So in the feeding department, mate, a massive congratulations from me personally, and also a massive congratulations from the podcast. So
thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot.
Go, mate. Go well. Do what you need to do, and players listen, and everyone will have a good day.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cheers, Dave.
Everyone behaves themselves, we'll keep them all on the field.
Can that should be the pre-match chat when you go check the boots. If everyone behaves themselves, you'll all stay on the field and play the game.
Good on you, Dave, mate. All thanks, the very best, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Thanks, mate. Dave Hall, everyone.
All right, let's give Rob Peden a call and let's cover off on the Premier One preview.
All right. No, we're just going. There's no segment breaker. Sorry, people.
We're still got to try and get up. Oh, look at Mitch Magrath's going to join us from the Avoca Beach side as well.
We did tell him again about 10 minutes ago.
Hello.
Hey, Rob, it's Berner here from the potty. How you going, mate?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, going good. Barthy's also here.
Hello, pal. How you going?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
Good, mate. Good. I'm not as excited as you would be, though.
Oh, no. Can't wait for Saturday.
You'd be pumped up. Mate, talk us through it. Obviously, what was the game like a couple of weeks ago? Obviously, meeting Avoca in the major semi, winning that, going through. What was that game like with the amount of minutes you played? I mean, I know how you played, how far you would have run, how many tackles you would have made. What was that whole experience like, going in extra time, winning it at the death?
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what, I was still sore until about Friday. Even my ears are sore.
Was that the bashing that Lockie probably gave you, Lockie Peruk? He'd be that type of bloke, wouldn't you?
Stop. Oh, mate, non-stop. The back of the truck. It was a tough game there. Like, Avoca, they're just non-stop the whole time. I thought we had them in the last 10 minutes, but as per they've been all year, the best team on the coast, just relentless still. And then going into extra time, I thought we had them in the first 5 minutes, but we fell short attacking their line. And then, got their call right on full time there. And to be honest, didn't really think Fenno had the legs. But
how good when it sailed over?
Oh, mate.
He could have got it from about 50.
Yeah. That feeling though of that going through and just going, oh, it's over. Just that celebration, but knowing that just the physical exertion, the amount of emotion that would have been put into that moment as well, which is, to have that kind of release of we're through to the grand final.
So what have you guys been working on? What have you guys been working on, and give us your thoughts on sort of perhaps what are you going to be wary of coming up against the Sharks? I've given our listeners a deep dive into some statistical analysis between you two guys this year, and you've met on 3 occasions. It's 1 each and 1 draw, so it doesn't get much tighter than that. How do you see it going, and where's the key to victory for the Razorbacks?
I think the key for victory for us is we just got to shut down. They like to play that fast, expansive game. They've got a very young back line, but I think we just have to shut them down out wide and just play that type of rugby that Razorbacks are known for playing for, and just playing hard and through the middle and trying to tire them out, I guess you could say, to do that. And I think we've really got to shut down Mitch Magrath and Sammy Evans. They've been phenomenal here, especially Sammy Evans. I've grown up playing with and against him, and he's probably in career best form. So
yeah, absolutely.
Those 2 down.
And just while talking about halfbacks, you mentioned Mitch Magrath, mate. Young Connor, your brother, playing 9 there last time you met the Evoca Beach side. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. Probably one of the best games I've seen him play ever. Coming into some good form at the moment.
Yeah, finally found his voice, eh?
Yeah, good. Good stuff, because he always has been a little bit quiet on the field, and hopefully he's given a few of you blokes a kick in the arse so he can get cleaner ball. But mate, I think he's been in best I've ever seen him play.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, he's finally growing into himself and getting a bit more confidence. So it's really good. It's really fun to play alongside him too. So,
well, good luck on the weekend, mate. Appreciate you jumping on the potty.
Cheers, boys. No worries.
Quick tip before you go. We obviously know who you think is going to win Premier 1, and it's don't need to be a rocket scientist to know who you're going to tip in 3rd grade and second grade. So let's go to the women's. The Evoca Beach side taking on the Terrigal Trojans. Who do you think is going to win that match?
Oh, could go over. Oh, I'm not too sure, to be honest. Well, I'll go. From what I've seen, I'll probably have to go with Evoca.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Evoca by 10. But in the saying that, it could be Terrigal by 10. So.
Yeah.
So
how good's that?
So you're giving us nothing, is what you're saying.
Whoever gets the best of the ball.
Whoever scores the most points after 40 minutes will win the match.
Exactly right.
Well, mate, thanks very much for joining us. All the very best on Saturday. Go well. You guys have done an outstanding job to get there. You're semi-final and final specialists. You're always strong and play your best footy this time of year. So, mate, a big congratulations. Go well and all the very best.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you, boys. Thanks for having me on.
All right. That was Rob Peden.
He himself could hold the key to victory to that Razorback side.
Can I, as a bit of a fangirling moment here?
Yeah.
Rob's going to be man of the match if Razorbacks win, and the bloke we're going to call next, I think, is going to be man of the match if Evoca win.
Well, there you go.
Personally, these are 2 of my favourite players to watch. Rob Peden is just phenomenal in every aspect. Like, he just does not stop competing in every play. He plays so far above his weight. 2 years ago, I thought he plays above his weight, but now I just see him as just this dominant forward.
That's how he plays, yeah.
That's just how he does it. We're going to give Mitch Magrath a call now.
Halfback and vice captain of the Evoca Beach side, and the sensational run of form they've had.
Hey, Mitch speaking.
Hey, Mitch, it's Berner and Barthy from the podcast. How you going, mate?
Not too bad. How you both?
We're going good, mate.
We're going outstandingly. We're not going as well as you, getting to play in a grand final this coming Saturday. Mate, how excited are you? Obviously, you're still on a bit of a high, I would imagine, off an absolutely epic performance against the Terrigal Trojan side, absolutely spanking them. And
you survived my mock. I gave him a great mock last week. I said, I can't see anything other than a dominant Evoca victory here. And Mitch rode straight in and said, oh, mate, why did you do that to us? And you survived it, mate.
That's
but you've played awesome, mate. How'd you sum up the weekend?
Yeah, I think everything just went our way, to be honest, and sort of summed up in that final try where Coop
like just puts a foot to the ball and it just bounces into the bloke's arms that it just has no one near him. Like, I think we played well, but I also think that things just sort of went our way on the day. But yeah, I think we were much improved from the Yarimba game. We were sort of
that's
able to play the way that we wanted to play instead of sort of being stuck into a game that we didn't want to play.
Yeah, I was just
positive.
Sorry, mate. I was just about to say, while you say the bounce of the ball goes your way, you've actually got to do things for that to be in a position for that to happen. I thought the performance by your Avoca Beach side was chalk and cheese compared to the. Well, no, that's a bit wrong. It sounds a bit disrespectful to the Razorbacks. I thought you played a far more balanced, aggressive, and your forward pack did a better job of laying a better platform for yourself and Sam to allow those to unlock those back Halsey and the guys through your back line. So I actually think your forward pack actually played substantially better than they did via the Razorbacks. So for those opportunities they don't just happen; they come through hard work, and that's exactly what your pack gave you on Saturday.
Oh yeah, definitely. They definitely gave us a good ball and forced quite a few errors by Terrigal. I think the real key improvement from the previous week was I don't think we gave away a single offside penalty, whereas you look at the Rimba game and we gave 6 penalties in the first 8 minutes, and then repeated infringement from that point led to 2 yellow cards, which makes it pretty bloody tough against a real good outfit to win a game of footy.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think, that really was a massive improvement in that respect as well.
So, mate, who's the danger players for the Razorbacks? Who worries you?
Mate, you look at their back row, that's the rep back row, and, on their day, pretty hard done by, not to be the country back row. So that's obviously a big threat. And last time we played them, Rob Peden had an absolute blinder. He was just everywhere. Like, he felt like he was everywhere on the game. And then reviewing the game, he's crucial for them. But, you look out for Rob and try and take him out of the game, and Farouk or Matty Martin sort of fill that spot. So they're obviously a big danger, but then Mackenzie's the prop for him. He's great on a steal as well.
Isn't he a handsome man though?
Oh, the luscious lock.
Oh, mate.
Mr. Genuine.
Can't get quick ruck there because I'm getting lost up in his lock.
It's tangled out of there.
I find it struggle to sleep at night, to be honest.
So, they're a pretty big threat. And then they've obviously got that Fijian winger he's pretty dangerous with ball in hand as well. So, they're a pretty solid side. You try and take out a threat somewhere and another one of them just pops up. So,
can you talk through Sorry, mate. Can you talk through the scrum last time? Because you guys were, from memory from the first half, you guys copped it a bit from the Razorbacks in the first half, and then it turned around a bit. Is that right?
Yeah, they had us on skates at the start there. Yeah. And then I just gave the boys a bit of a rev up and said, make it a bit easier for
bit of coaching, bit of coaching advice.
Richie, just get your long arm behind there, mate, and keep your chest proud. And they turned it around. So, in all seriousness, I've got no idea what's going on there, mate. I just try and put the ball on Shero's foot and to get it out as quickly as possible so the real footballers can have some fun.
So, well, mate, look, it's been an absolutely outstanding season. It's been a real breakout season for the Avoca Beach side, something they haven't seen in a very long time. We're talking close to 10 years. And I think you got a little bit back to that sort of the dominant sort of force that we probably expected to see a little bit more of heading into the semis on Saturday. So it was good to see that. Just real quickly, your keys to unlocking the first victory in 10 years for the Avoca Beach side. What do you think you guys need to do well to take the shield home?
I think if we can play the structures that Jake's put in place, that'll go a long way to getting the job done for us. And then I think really the key is to not overhype it. Because, when 18 rounds without getting knocked off, and they just go out there and treat it as 15 white jerseys, and and don't so much worry about what the other teams do. Control the controllables and let the job take care of itself.
That's pretty solid advice, and it's been the key to what has been your success over the course of this year. Is that balanced approach and taking the emotion out of it and getting into your process, as you mentioned. So, mate, all the very best. Go well on Saturday. Good luck. And from Berner and I, mate, we appreciate your support of the podcast over the years. And mate, all the very best. Go well.
Cheers, bloke. Make sure you tip a rimba so you don't give us a kiss of death again.
Haven't got to the tips yet. We'll see how we go.
The kiss is coming from
Cheers,
me,
guys.
mate.
I'll see you out there.
All right, see you, mate. Good luck.
Cheers, mate.
Mitch Magrath there. My two favourite players to watch this week, as I just said. Something you pointed out to me a couple of weeks ago, and I always knew Mitch was a bit of a shit stirrer on the field, but you said watch him because he always stirs some shit. The other player will give it back, and then he stops. And it's so, when you said it, it made me appreciate it so much more. So when you watch Mitch on the weekend, he gets inside it, he gets in everyone's head, they react, and then he'll just cop that reaction and then just move forward, and his job's done. Yeah. And he doesn't even look at the person anymore. There's nothing, it's not to instigate an altercation, it's just to get inside their head. Yeah. It's so good to watch. He's just a perfect halfback to watch doing that. And obviously a phenomenal player, and I think he is a key for that Avoca side, just in terms of being calm at halfback. Another thing as well, when there was a bit of shit on the weekend and the players were involved in it, the two players that were sitting down just completely out of it were Adam Denkett and Mitch Magrath. 2 leaders of their side just sitting out just going, we don't need to get involved in this crap. But, mate, let's get into – do we have anybody else we're getting on? I think that's it. We've had 10 bloody callers.
What are we at? We're over an hour and a half already.
Hour and 11 so far, mate.
Let's get into this preview, Berner.
Let's do it, mate.
I've had a deep dive into statistical analysis of this match.
Have you already gone through this?
Probably.
I think you've already gone through it. I'm statted out. Everybody else is statted out. You're going to tell us that the teams are close. You've already done this, mate. Your Alzheimer's is kicking in.
I don't know. I can't even remember what I was going to ask David.
Obviously, there's two teams met a fortnight ago. Razorbacks with a penalty at the death to win it. Avoca first all year, undefeated until that moment where they copped the penalty goal in the dying minutes. Razorbacks finished third. How I see it going, mate, it is genuinely a flip of the coin. I would argue Razorbacks. I think actually, to be honest, the time slot makes me feel Razorbacks as well. I just think they love that difference, and they love that kind of dewy surface that you're probably going to have at night, and I think that favours them. Also, they've had the win. They're final specialist. They play a type of rugby that suits finals, and they're coming off a fresh, a week off essentially. That's why I think Razorbacks. I think Avoca, because I think Avoca's best is better than the Razorbacks' best. That's been proven all year. I think when it comes to the occasion, I would usually say I think it's going to get the better of Avoca, and I don't think that anymore. I don't believe the occasion 2 weeks ago got the better of Avoca. I just think that was such a cracking game of rugby, and one team had to win in the end.
Yeah.
And they showed on the weekend when the pressure was, because they could have very easily gone out in straight sets there. Terrigal are a class side.
Yeah.
They put Terrigal to the sword, and it was convincing.
Yeah.
And with the people, Sam Evans, is in career best form, as Rob said before. I think that is the case. I think their back line is outstanding. I think it comes down to their forward pack, and if they can shut down that back row and the whole forward pack, to be honest, of the Razorbacks, like they can pilfer from anywhere. That's a real feature of their play, and really slowing that ball down and not allowing Avoca to build any pressure on them and unlock their backs. And they can do that so easily across the park. And that's going to be the key. For me, I'm going to tip Avoca.
Yeah, I
not convincingly, but I've got to go with one here, and it's going to be Avoca.
Yeah, I basically, I'm probably just going to paraphrase and repeat most of the things you've just said. If Avoca had won last week in a tight match against Terrigal, I would have been all in Razorbacks.
Yeah,
all in Razorbacks. Because I thought the Razorbacks did an outstanding job against Avoca, shutting them down and shutting down their momentum. The back row, their carries, the Razorbacks back row carries were phenomenal. The only team that can beat Avoca Beach is the Razorbacks.
Yeah.
Easy thing to say because there's no one else to pick from. But that is the reality of what's happening on Saturday, and that's the thing that should concern the Avoca Beach side. Is they've only beaten them once, and when it mattered, the Razorbacks beat them, and that's a pretty key space to occupy in an opposition's brain, opposition's head. But gee whiz, the Avoca Beach Sharks were impressive last week against Terrigal. I know Terrigal were off and didn't play their best rugby.
I can't ignore that.
Yeah,
I can't ignore the dominance.
And that's what makes me. It's a genuine flip of the coin. That's what makes me lean towards the Avoca Beach side. And I love it, the fact that Mitch Magrath will be squirming hearing us say that.
No.
I just.
Do you know who'd be loving it? The Razorbacks going, oh,
yes. No one rates us.
The last game of the year, we're still flying under the radar.
And again, I'm going to come back to what I said 2-3 weeks ago. I think it's Avoca Beach's competition to lose.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Because they have been the best side all year. Yeah. They have not lost a game.
Yeah.
Come semi-final time, Razorbacks are the one to do it.
Yeah.
Are they going to do it again?
Either way, like
they can.
This is going to be such a good
encounter. The Razorbacks
right across the park.
Yeah, the Razorbacks can. They've had a week off. The Sharks have come off a brutal match against the Razorbacks 2 weeks ago. Mm. Not as brutal, but still a physical encounter against the Terrigal Trojan side, which they dominated. Conditioning wise, who's it going to favour more? Nighttime. Wet at surface, I'm with you. I lean towards the Razorbacks when it comes to that tight. It needs to be a tighter match. Razorbacks, happy days. It's in their wheelhouse of excellence. Is that tighter match? That 30 meters in the middle of the field. That's where they dominate, and that's what could be a case of deciding the match.
Under lights at night, do you think that factors in much?
Well, you know what? We can't say because we don't play under lights, so it's going to be extremely difficult. So yes, it does have an impact. What impact or who knows?
How exciting for the players though.
Yeah, brilliant.
To play at Exquisite Exterior Stadium at 7:50, like under lights, have the whole crowd there revved up. That is an awesome experience for those players to play at. Who are you going with? Who's your final tip?
Can you come back to me?
Segment's over, mate.
It's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. All right, my tip is Avoca Beach.
Okay. Good way to end.
Ridiculous.
You're still going now. You're still going. Did I make the right call?
I don't know. But one game apiece and a draw. But how freaking good is it?
It is. You
got to pick a winner.
You do have to pick a winner. I'm more sold on Avoca and women's than I am across any of those teams. And I can honestly see it blowing out a little bit on either way as well. But I can also see a Sean Townsend penalty goal winning it. Like I'm not burying Sean at all here, but he had it. So many of them had the shots to win the game that could have really taken it, and on both sides. And just that whole redemption thing of like, I can get this, and just there's just so many things that can happen, and that's what makes a great game of rugby.
Yeah,
I can see Avoca winning by 1 point. I can see Razorbacks doing the same thing and winning by 1 point. I can see a Razorbacks dominating. Moving forward and just completely dismantling Avoca. And the Avoca of old, I feel like, would capitulate and Razorbacks would run on with it. I can also see Avoca just everything going the right way from their back line, just tearing up. Alex Hall's just going straight through. And
so I can't see that.
Okay, huh?
No.
You just see it as tight either way.
I don't see. I can see it. I can see. The more I think about it, the more I want to lean towards the Razorbacks. I can see them just strangling Avoca out of the match again.
They play with a lot of energy that'd be hard to get their heads down. Like, I just think, like, you're in a game and, like, say Avoca had the pressure and just say if Mitch Magrath's pinned them into the corner or whatever, I think that between, especially their back row, they're three very energetic people on the field. Obviously, they want to take the ball themselves and do everything, but they're just high energy that it'd be hard to lower that team into a slump where no one's talking and they kind of lose their way a bit.
If Avoca shut down the back row, the Razorbacks back row, they win the game. Simple as that.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I got. It's just so good. I love it. Absolutely love it.
It's going to be a cracker game.
Let's shut this down, brother.
We done?
I think we're done.
Can I dabble a little bit on the Wallabies? Just give me a minute.
I'll give you. I'll give you 30 seconds.
How disappointing. We're at a World Cup. We're trying to promote this, and my microphone's even gone from me now.
You're welcome, YouTubers.
Oh, mate. It's like we are Australian rugby's in a shithouse spot. All we have to do, I'm not saying all we have to do, we're up against quality opposition now, but like if we're trying to build everything, and I know I'm not saying they're not trying or anything like that, but it's so frustrating when you're like, we are cooked across so many avenues. What we need is just our national team to win. We need them to inspire a nation. We've seen what it's done with the Matildas, right? We just need a winning team at the national level. And they're just shit. They're just, oh, mate, it's sickening. I can't get around it. I've been trying to be positive the whole time, and it's just crap. Long story short, we need Fiji to beat Wales. Yes. And then we also need to beat Wales.
We got to beat Wales.
We're going to beat Wales. Unfortunately, we need that to happen.
Fiji lost to Wales.
Yeah. And then I woke up this morning and watched it, and I turned it off in the later stages because I'm like, this is just too much for me. And yeah, mate, just disappointing. That was my 30 seconds to 40 for a minute, whatever it was. The Wallabies need to be better. Have we got anything else, mate?
Mate, no, not officially. But I would certainly like to say thank you to everyone who has supported us over the 4 years. This will be our last podcast for the year. We have absolutely loved and enjoyed shining a light on this community that we love so much through a game that we love so much. We really, I know personally speaking, so I won't speak for you, Bernie, you can add in. I absolutely value the fact that people have enjoyed our interactions and what we've tried to do for the community. We could never have done it, and we have a lot of fun. But Angus Bruin from Erina Podiatry, I can't remember if Leaf got his business name. Gussie Bruin from the day we started, he said, "Yep, I'm in. I want to support." Support the businesses that have supported this community podcast. You know, Carl from Exquisite Exterior Cleaning, and obviously Gus, who's been on board with us from day one. It has just been absolutely fantastic. We've loved it. We've gone through some sort of tougher times trying to do it. We touched on, you know, my career gap year that I had this year, traveling around Australia, working. We still managed to get it together because we loved bringing it to you. As a community, we've seen some tragedies over the course of this year, but together as a community, we've really sort of bonded together and helped each other through what has been sort of difficult times. We started this podcast way back, you know, pre-COVID and during COVID times, and it's been through the support of you guys, the fantastic rugby community, that we've been able to do that together. So the 4 years has been an absolute pleasure. Personally, pal, your unflappable nature, your rugby knowledge, your skill set, and just the diversity that you've brought to this in regards to, you know, the way you look at the game, the way you've experienced the game. It has been an absolute joy. I've learned so much from you personally and also around rugby. And one of the greatest things, whilst I've had interactions with you since you were 19 years old, I think, when I first selected you for an invitational side. One of the greatest things this podcast has given me in this game is someone I consider a close mate. So thank you, pal, for 4 years of fun. It's been awesome.
Appreciate that, mate. And just echoing your sentiments as well, just in terms of thanking everybody. If you're listening to this, you're one of the people, because, you know, generating those listens week to week. And we're also aware, you know, your listens will go up and down depending on the week. So just for example, a grand final episode doesn't usually get as much because we're interacting really with a couple of clubs right now. There's not a lot of people, you know, some people have disengaged from rugby for the season. So if you are listening, we greatly appreciate it, especially with a longer episode. But, you know, throughout the year and the interaction that we have, and we've all got a role to play in growing this game. And, you know, my frustration with the Wallabies, you can hear that because I understand how important that is in keeping rugby culture alive. I know what rugby culture has given to me throughout the years and the skills it's given me through, you know, just through being on the field, all the adversity you overcome, the feeling of joy when you do overcome that, with whatever that may be, the people you meet along the way, the people you get to play with, have a beer with, all those things. And, it helps you become a better person. It's not just about, for me, it's not actually about the game of rugby. To me, it's about everything else in the community. That's the reason that's what drives me. And so if you've ever engaged with us, tagged us in a post, wrote into us, jumped on the podcast, all that contributes to it. All that contributes to this product we're making to drive the game. And, we're obviously going from a Central Coast rugby perspective. It's a small part of a national thing. But if we can drive this, maybe there can be change and we can grow everything else from outside of there. And while we're just focusing on this, it's I realize it's going to be a ceiling with the amount of listeners and stuff you have, but what we have, we're very proud of. To have 300 odd people a week that are tuning in, I consider them quite high numbers for people that are going to give up their week to listen to us dribble, for 40 minutes about the game. I think that's, I'm proud of that. But that's only grown from, it's a snowball effect from everybody jumping on the back of it, and that conversation you have about the B&B boys, do you hear what they said here? And we've genuinely enjoyed it, just promoting the awesome people, because that's what it is. It is the awesome people. I'm going to a grand final this weekend, and I can't wait, because there's the people that I'll see in the crowd, the people that will be around, just the committee, everything that'll be around there on the day from everywhere, the players that are on the field. There's a story behind them that's led them to there, and that's what excites me. And then whatever the result's going to be obviously goes down in history as this is the team that won, this is the team that lost, and then you move on again, you do it again next year. So you have a chance to solidify yourself this year, and that's such a special feeling. And on that day, everyone's going to remember that day for years to come, especially the people that are playing out there. They're never going to forget that for the rest of their lives. That's such a special day. That's what rugby can do. You go through many days and they're just forgetful days. I can't remember anything that I've done in the last month, but that day on the weekend is going to be special. And that's what rugby can give us. And that's why we do this, to promote that and keep this going, so more people can come through after generations to this great game, and obviously, build what we're doing on the Central Coast. That was the first part. Echo your sentiments, mate. The second part, that was a good tangent, that one. I kept my train of thought the whole time. It was beautifully spoken.
You're still with us, listeners?
I might listen back to that part. I haven't listened back to anything in 3 years. I might actually listen back to that. Just on yourself, mate, I really appreciate, obviously, this whole idea started with you cornering me in a corridor saying, I've got an idea. Can we make this work? I've got no idea how to do it. I just want this thing to happen. And then it's kind of taken off. And this has been something that has, obviously over 4 years, it's been a big experience, but working with someone like yourself, it's just been so easy. That's the part of what makes this what makes this work is it's just easy. And it's so easy to do things because of yourself. Your connection with the game, with people, with so many clubs, obviously living and breathing it for so many years as a coach, as a respected coach, as a respected player, and as a respected person that's been around representative and understanding of the game. I think that's what, working with that has just been so easy. I've learned so much from you doing this as well. Obviously not technology based. I'm still teaching very much in that. But yeah, it's just been amazing. And that's what makes it easy, because every time you come here, you have stuff that you're bringing in with you, whether it's knowledge in your head, whether it's a deep dive statistical analysis, whatever that is.
You're still with us, listeners.
But all of that, is what makes this special. And, if you are still listening, that is what you're here for, is that whole thing between the two of us there. So, mate, a thank you on behalf of myself, but also thank you on behalf of everyone who's listening and tunes in every week to hear your thoughts. So greatly appreciated.
Thank you, pal. And after 4 years, 102 episodes, over 25,000 listens, downloads.
Yeah, we'll crack that this week.
For the last time for 2023.
See ya!